Hey guys, this is Mr. Grace for Algebra 2 Unit 5.6 Notes, Day 2. Today we are talking about characteristics of polynomial functions. So here is our function right here, okay? Now, yesterday when we were talking about it, we wanted you to look at if it was positive or negative of your leading coefficient, how many turns does it have, your left and right end behavior. Now we're going to be adding a lot more other stuff, okay? We're going to be talking about domain and range, which you guys should be pretty familiar with, okay? We're going to be throwing in some new definitions and just looking at more information about this graph, okay? So we're probably going to be doing this in two videos, the front side and then the back side. So let's just go ahead and get started. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about are the domain and the range. So the domain is how far left and how far right the function reaches on the x-axis. Remember that the domain is our x values. Okay, so as we're looking at this from left to right, are there any restrictions on this graph? And you should remember this because we talked about this a lot in one of our other chapters, and it's no, okay? It goes from negative infinity to positive infinity. Now, the range is how low and how high the function reaches on the y-axis, okay? So this, the range is our y values, okay? Now, for this one, you can see that we're going all the way down and all the way up. There are no restrictions on this graph. Now, that is not always going to be the case, but for this one it is. So I know that my range goes from negative infinity to positive infinity, and we'll make that look a little bit better. Now, the local maximum and the local minimum, the maxima and the minima are different, okay? Now, the maximum, the maxima is the point where the function changes from increasing to decreasing. So here we are looking, here I am going up and then I am going down. So I want to know, what is this point right here? This is going to be my maxima. And so I would need to tell you exactly where that is at. Now, it's not perfect, guys. It's not. Okay, so you're going to have to do a little bit of guessing and estimating where it is, but that is at negative 2.1 and positive 2. Okay, so you can see the positive 2 right here, and it's just a little bit past negative 2. Okay, now my minimum, okay, that's where it changes from decreasing to increasing. Yes, I'm crazy. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to color code these as well. Okay, so here my graph is going down and then it changes to going up. So at this point right here, this is going to be my minima. Okay, and once again, you're going to have to guess just a little bit about where it's at because it's not at 1, it's a little before 1. So I'm going to call that 0.8. And you can tell it's not at negative 4, it's below negative 4. So I'm calling that negative 4.1. Okay? So domain and range, we've talked about that before, so that's not too new. But looking at the maximum and the minimum points, that's new. Okay? Now, increasing and decreasing. We've talked about that when we were doing quadratics and then when we were looking at absolute values. So the increasing is the values of x for which the function is rising from left to right. Now the only thing that's different about this is there's going to be multiple points because I am increasing here and then I'm increasing again there. So it's going to be written twice now, okay? So from left to right, it's from negative infinity. And the nice thing is we know the point because it goes to that maxima right there, okay? And then there's a break, okay? Because see, we're not increasing right here. Now we start decreasing. And then at the minima, that's where it starts going up again, okay? So then we start going up at the 0.8 to positive infinity, okay? Now, we're going to do the same thing with our decreasing, but our decreasing in this graph goes from the maxima to the minima, those 2 points, okay? So when I write this, it's only from negative 2.1 to 0.8. All right, x-intercept, that shouldn't be too difficult. We're looking for the points where the function intersects the x-axis, okay? So here we go. I have 1, 2, 3 points, okay? And those should not be too difficult because you're just looking at it and say, oh, it's negative 3, 0, negative 1, 0, and 2, 0. Okay, so we got negative 3, 0, negative 1, 0, and then 2, 0, comma, 2, 0. Okay, the x-intercept, once again, that's a point where the function crosses the y-axis. So here we go, boom. There's my point, and that is the point 0, negative 3. All right, now our favorite part. We need to take a look, where's the function greater than 0, and where's the function less than or equal to 0, okay? So when we looked at this, I know I've got a lot of other marks on here. So here is our x-axis. I want to know, where is my graph above 0? Okay, and it's only above 0 in these sections, okay? So remember, when I'm looking at this part of my graph, I'm not even looking at, okay? So I am above 0 from negative 3 to negative 1, and then there's a break, and then from 2 to positive infinity, okay? So we said from negative 3 to negative 1, then the break, and then from 2 to positive infinity. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cross this section out because I don't care about it right now. And I want to know, where am I below? Well, I'm below from negative infinity to negative 3. And then there's a break. And then I'm below from negative 1 to 2. Okay, so we said from negative infinity to negative 3, and then there's a break, and then we said from negative 1 to 2. So negative 1 to 2. All right, and then the last part that we're talking about, my far left end behavior, okay? What's going on all the way over here? Well, that far left, this is where the graph is falling. So over here, we would say that it is falling. And then on the other side, my far right behavior, we are rising. Okay, and it's going to be different for each graph. Okay, each one of these, you need to go through and ask yourself all of these questions. Okay, now that's just the first side. The next video will go through all of the back. Okay, so don't freak out, I'm not done yet. But this is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra 2, Unit 5.6 Notes, Day 2, video number 1. Thanks for watching.